I just want to put this out there that these officers, I don't know about all of them, but a lot of them, they're going to be arrested and they're going to be prosecuted. And I doubt they're going to go to trial, and they'll most likely just plead out. But before we get into this, because I'm going to give you some real deal inside stuff, not inside information, but having experience as a correctional officer, I know all about this crazy stuff in this crazy world where people in the prisons, right, they think they can just do whatever they want. And to some extent, they do get away with a lot. But with this situation, man, they're going to get busted up the head to the white meat. But before I get into this video, I just want to make this clear. YouTube has been suppressing my channel pretty much since the beginning of my journey on here. And within the last 6 to 8 weeks, I've been hit hard by YouTube with suppressing my material. So I just want to say that's why you're not seeing me pop up on the home feeds. That's why you're not seeing me on the suggested videos or the next videos, because the algorithms are just going against me. I've called out YouTube about it and they keep giving the same answers, and then they stop talking because I hit them with their own analytics to show that something is going on with my channel and y'all hindering me. So I'll do a video down the road about that, but let me get into this video. So just keep supporting me, like this video, share this video, subscribe, share this with other people, because the algorithms is going against me. Go to my content, match me up against the other prison genre channels, and you know that I can stand toe to toe with them. But for whatever reason, I'm having issues on here. But let me get into this video. As soon as I saw that video with those correctional officers basically just beating and choking the daylights out of this dude, I knew it was all bad. And I can tell you from experience working behind the walls, this isn't the first time that stuff like this happens. And if I just had to take a guess, I'm sure that squad of rogue officers, they've been doing that for a long time, and it's probably just now caught up to them. And I often say, man, when you work in a prison or a jail, you kind of realize that, because for police officers, it can be a little different because you got a lot of cameras all throughout the city, people on their cell phone cameras and stuff. But inside the prison, it's almost the perfect place for people to engage in misconduct and to violate inmates' civil rights and all that stuff. Because just think, if those body cameras, weren't on or whatever, what do you think would have come of that? You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you guys this, right? When those handcuffs come on, now, unless the inmate is like extremely combative, he's still trying to kick or headbutt, things of that nature. When those cuffs come on, generally speaking, that's it. Now, I'm not going to show the video because I know it'll probably demonetize the video due to violence, but that video right there, that is all bad. And if I can just keep it real with you, watching that video, it just reminded me of the struggles that I've had as being a black officer, right, working in the jails and prisons. And it was kind of triggering because it was a black inmate. And, early on in my career and all that stuff, I stayed away. Now, I don't know if this dude was in SHU or anything like that, but I know for me as a black man, I stayed clear away from SHU as much as I could, and I stayed away from certain cliques and certain posts like it was the plague, because I knew the mindset of these individuals, and I wasn't going to get down on that type of stuff. And I'm telling you, man, like, it does something to, it's hard. A lot of people may not realize it, you know what I'm saying? Because they think some of the black folks in law enforcement are sellouts. But I can tell you, I ain't no sellout, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't no, I'm not no just go along to get along type of guy. But when I watched that video, like, man, my heart broke, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you'll have those type of officers, right? They got their little clique going, and you notice what the race is from the officers, and they go around and they'll antagonize black inmates, they'll beat black inmates, they'll do all these types of things, and it somehow goes unnoticed. But then when they look at a fellow black officer, they want to try to make us think, oh no, that was just, they're just an inmate, that's why. No, if you harbor ill feelings and all this stuff towards black inmates, then especially when you start using these racial slurs and stuff, now you've roped in just the black race population. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't hate black inmates and beat them and do all that stuff and then try to look at another black person and say, but we're cool because you're different. It don't work like that. But unfortunately, you got some silly, black officers that, they fall for that bait. But yeah, when the cuffs come on, that's as long as they're not still being actively combative, that's generally it. Now, let me tell you what's most likely going to happen. Because, in the just law enforcement period, whether you be on the streets or in the jails or the prisons, excuse me, you have this clique mentality where they think they're invincible, like the nasty boys from back in the day in the Vegas Valley. You got, people making up like the Mustache Mafia and all this whatever, right? These people, they'll go around and they'll do this dirt and they'll beat on inmates and stuff. But what they don't understand is there's no loyalty in that, because I can bet you once these people start getting charged, getting arrested and being charged or prosecuted, they are going to start singing like Pavarotti. I can promise you that. And I hope there's some young rookie officers, or even if you've been in a long time and you like that environment, you like to be in those cliques, you need to leave that stuff alone. I don't care what pact those officers had, those COs in New York. Oh, we're going to do it and we're going to hush and we're not going to say nothing, we're not going to tell. I can guarantee you, once those cuffs start going on those officers' wrists and they look at them charges and the amount of time that they're going to have to do, they are going to tell. And from my experience, right, usually the one that can get the best deal, it's going to generally be the one that decides to cooperate first or maybe even second, right? Because what'll happen is they're going to get pinched, right? Obviously. And then they're going to say, oh, well, if you give us dirt on somebody else, or if you know some other things, we'll reduce your sentence. Or if you cooperate with us to go against the ringleaders of this, we'll take care of you. It happens all the time. There is no such thing in law enforcement as a true blue wall of silence. They will only be silent about certain things. Like if you come in late or you leave early, or, you might do some knick-knack stuff. But when it comes to stuff like this, or like with that George Floyd situation, they're not going to be loyal. None of them want to do time in prison away from their wife, away from their family members for somebody else. I promise you, look at the officers from the George Floyd situation, right? All those officers that were involved, they were telling on each other. They turned on each other. And even the chief of police and the other people from the department, I don't know how many it was, but they were ready, able, and willing to get on that stand to point the finger at these rogue officers. Oh, we don't teach that. We don't train them to do that. And they're rogue. I'm telling you. That's why I used to stay my black behind clear away from SHU as much as I could. I stayed away from certain cliques because I know what time it is. I know their mindset. They go back there. I'm not about to be rolling in no groups. I'm just keeping this real. I'm not rolling in no groups where, y'all like for pastime to go antagonize black inmates and y'all gonna beat them and do all this crazy stuff. I'm not gonna be a part of that. And you just mark my words, right? You watching this video now, mark my words. Once those bracelets start coming on and they get arrested and stuff, they are going to turn on each other. So I'll be curious to see which officers are going to be the ones that will come forward to be the first few to cooperate. They may even discover other things going on in the prison, because that also happens. The same way with criminals. When they get pinched by the police and they're trying to save their hide, they'll say, oh, well, I know another brother or another dude, he been selling me this and he does this and that. And that's how it goes. So, hey, if you get me a bigger fish, then hey, we'll cut you some slack. And that's what's going to happen. Now, they got a black attorney general, I think Letitia James. She went after Trump. And I'm telling you, she going to bust them officers upside the head. Because if she has the cojones to go after Trump and all the hush money stuff or whatever all that stuff was, right? For her to go after a former president that is now a president-elect, do you think she's going to be scared of these officers? Like these low-level officers? Because that's what they look like right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, the struggles, and I'm going to do a video on this. And this is why I say, man, my channel, man, I'm just tired of YouTube suppressing my content because my stuff is just so unique. It just sets apart on its own. And I'll do a video on it one day, man, about the struggles of, being a black officer, man. It is hard. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, like, if I were in that room, for one, I wouldn't be hanging in no cliques with people like that. It's one thing, like, the officers can bid for where they want to go. And so a lot of officers, especially they got time in, right? They're going to bid to work the same shift or work the same assignment, the post, and because they want to stick together. When they do their dirt and when they do all this illegal stuff, right? They want to be with people that they feel most comfortable with. And I can tell you straight up, there's been times where, I responded to things and they cuff up the inmates and they'll escort them, to the lieutenant's office or whatever. And they'll say, all right, man, we got it. And I know what that means. Oh, yeah, we got it, man. It's cool, man. You can go ahead and go, brother. Oh, okay, I'm gone. Because I know what that means. But unfortunately, you have a lot of officers. I don't know what it is, but they are so attracted to that dirty, disgusting, unconstitutional culture. They feel like it's a badge of honor, or they get to wear this Superman thing on their chest when, oh yeah, man, I remember when we beat up that inmate, or remember when we did this or did that. They look at that like getting medals on their chest. But for me, I ain't into that. I want to enjoy my freedom. And if I was in that situation, which, again, I stay away from people like that. You know what I'm saying? I do my own programming. I do my own thing, right? But if I was in that situation, first I would be in shock because, again, for the most part, people that get down on that stuff, they know who they can do it in front of and who they can't. And if I was at work or something and that, I don't think they would get down like that in front of me because, again, they know what kind of time I'm on. And I ain't with that stuff. I ain't going to prison for y'all. Are you kidding me? You want me to roll in this clique and y'all get in some mess and now I'm going to prison. My wife is at home. You know what I'm saying? My kid's at home and I'm in locked up. And then you got to worry about, other officers trying to hit on your wife while you locked up it's crazy. I'm not doing that stuff. But if I was in that room, in that situation, and I'm keeping it a buck, if for whatever reason that went down, I would yell out, stop. Y'all stop this now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now whether they stop or not, I don't know. But I would not be involved in that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, and let me say this, right? Because I know I have some law enforcement that watch my videos, right? Now, of course, right now, I'm being suppressed like I usually am on YouTube. But, there's officers, they come from the old school and they're like, oh man, you a rat, or man, you're no good, or this or that. Or let me tell you again, remember the George Floyd murder trial? The officers that were involved turned on each other. Okay. When it's about, oh man, don't tell, that I came in late or I left early, or, oh man, don't tell them that I didn't get my work done or whatever. Stuff like that, that's trivial, right? I mean, you shouldn't do that, but that's trivial. But when you're talking about being arrested and charged for crimes that could have you in prison for a long time, all bets are off. And I can tell you straight up, if I was in that situation, because I wouldn't be putting my hands on him and beating him and all that stuff, I would just yell out, hey, stop it. I ain't going to jail for y'all. And I'm keeping it real. Because just wait. Because I know some of the people that I work with or had worked with or whatever, they're going to, oh man, see, he's no good. He's going to rat. Just watch the news and just watch and see how these officers are going to start turning on each other. They're going to be offering to cooperate. And not only would they offer to cooperate in that situation to try to, like say, oh, these people were the ringleaders, they will offer up other dirt that's going on in the prison because they want to save their own behinds. So for anybody that's watching this, any officers, I don't know when you're going to watch this video. It could be today. It could be 5 years from now. But I'm telling you, especially these rookie officers that are still impressionable, don't get involved in those cliques. It might seem like you guys have this blue code of silence or this blue wall of silence. It might appear that you guys are all loyal with each other and your mouths are shut. But there's going to come a time where you're going to be a little too big for your britches and you're going to get involved in some stuff and you're going to be looking at some time. And at that point, when you're looking at time, you ain't thinking about no little fake oath that you guys took. You're not going to be thinking nothing about that. All you're going to be thinking about is how can I get my behind out of this situation of possibly going to prison. Just mark my words. I mean, if you just go and do a Google search, you will see how often when police officers are getting caught up in cases where they can go to prison, they squeal. They tell it. It is what it is. And there's a lot of people, man, that think, the blue wall of silence and they're not going to tell it. They're not going to, man, that stuff has a limit. Okay. That stuff has a limit. And I don't know what, and here's the other thing too, man. The police union already slammed them and said it was despicable and, that don't represent the majority, all that stuff. They've already come out. So the ground is already being set. They're already being blackballed. They're already being left to be hung out to dry. You know that's bad when your union comes out and slams you and does a complete disassociation from you and saying that your actions were rogue and it doesn't represent, the majority of the officers. You already know what's coming. So I can honestly tell you, if I was in a situation like that, which I don't know why I would be, because again, I don't roll with those type of cliques. And good and well, that's not the first time those officers have done that. That's just the first time that it got caught on camera. But if I was in that situation, I would yell out, man, y'all knock this out. I ain't going to jail for nobody. Knock it off. And knowing, some of the people there, they probably would stop, not because they respect me, and not because they like me, but they would stop because they would start thinking, oh man, he's about to tell on us. Oh man, we got to stop. But I'm telling you, man, just watch the news, hear what these different officers are saying, find out which ones are getting, less time or they're being proposed with more time. You'll be able to know who's going to be cooperating with who. And again, some of those people that was involved, if they have dirt on other stuff that's been going on in that prison, they are going to tell it because they're going to do whatever they can to try to reduce the sentence that they would potentially get. Now, will all of the people go to prison? I don't know. But I know a good portion of the people in that video, they're going to go to prison. But now, and I know they're going to have to be represented individually by their own attorneys. There's no way. And here's the crazy thing, right? And I'll end it. In law school, you learn in professional ethics or professional responsibility in California that, it's not the best practice and it's not really encouraged. But when it comes to criminal cases, you could technically represent, at least, and just according to ABA model rules, other states have different whatever. But generally speaking, when you have a criminal defense attorney, they could potentially represent several people, right? As long as they're aware, you provide the disclaimers, all that other stuff, right? But in this situation, I couldn't see any attorney wanting to represent more than one person from that. Because again, the probability of them turning on each other and telling and providing information will more than likely happen. And each, right, they got a duty of loyalty to their clients, right? They can't do stuff that's going to go against their best interest. They can't, it's just a lot of stuff, right? So mark my words. It is going to go down. It is going to be ugly. And you're going to be able to find out who cooperated and who didn't. And it is what it is. So my only thing is, if you're watching this, if you're thinking about getting involved in law enforcement or you just started or whatever, stay away from people like this, because it's going to spare you a lot of heartache, a lot of trouble. Because there's been times on my job where there were people that couldn't sleep because of some of the dirt they did, but I was able to sleep like a baby. I was able to sleep good because I'm not involved in that. So anyways, let me wrap this up. I'm almost at 21 minutes. I didn't expect to go this long, but yeah, stay away from them people. It ain't worth it. And you watch and see. That blue code of silence or that blue wall of silence that they claim to have, it's all out the window. So until the next one, holla at your boy.